The sun was just beginning to set over the shimmering lake when I heard the sharp, angry voice cutting through the laughter of my friends. "Excuse me, you can't be here." I turned to see her, the woman everyone in the neighborhood had warned me about. Perfectly pressed khakis, oversized sunglasses, and a clipboard clutched like a weapon. They called her Karen, the self-appointed enforcer of every unwritten rule around the lake. I stood from the dock, brushing the water off my hands. My little boy, Ethan, was still splashing at the edge, and my college buddies were setting up a small grill on the grass. We had planned this weekend for months, a rare chance to relax and reconnect on the land that had belonged to my family for generations. But I already knew this woman wasn't here to welcome us. She was here to control. Karen marched forward, heels clicking on the wooden planks like gunshots. "This is community property," she snapped, pointing her pen at my guests. "Your friends need to leave. Now! They're not registered with the HOA." I took a slow breath, forcing a polite smile. "Ma'am," I said calmly, "this is my land. They're my guests." She let out a bitter laugh. "Oh, don't try to be clever. I know what lot this is. The HOA has clear rules about the lakefront. Only registered residents are allowed to have guests past 6 p.m. She glanced at her watch with theatrical annoyance. "It's 6:10, so they need to go." I looked around at the faces of my friends. Some were confused, others frustrated. I had told them this was my private property. Now it felt like I had dragged them into a war they didn't sign up for. But what Karen didn't know was that this lake, this entire stretch of water and forest around it, had been in my family long before the HOA even existed. Decades ago, my grandfather had bought the land outright, and though the neighborhood grew around it, we had never signed over a single inch to the association. I owned it. Every tree, every ripple in the lake, every patch of grass beneath Karen's polished shoes. Still, I kept my voice even. "Karen, this isn't HOA property," I said. "This lake and this land belong to me. My name is on the deed." She blinked. Then she scoffed. "That's ridiculous. Everything around here is HOA property. Everyone has to follow the rules." I could have argued right then, but I knew it wouldn't matter. Karen wasn't the kind of person who listened to words. She needed proof. So I pulled my phone from my pocket, opened the county property map I'd saved years ago, and turned the screen toward her. "Lot 15. See that outline? That's my land. Notice how it goes right up to and around the lake?" For a moment, her smug confidence faltered. She stepped closer to the screen, her eyes narrowing. "That can't be right," she muttered. "Oh, it's right," I said. "You might control a lot of things around here, but this isn't one of them. My guests stay as long as I want them to." Her face flushed red. She opened and closed her mouth like she wanted to fight back, but didn't have the weapons anymore. Well, I'll call the HOA board," she finally sputtered. "You do that," I said calmly, "and they'll tell you the same thing. I've dealt with them before." She turned to leave, but not without one last glare. "This isn't over," she hissed. "Actually," I said softly, "it is." As she stormed off, the tension began to melt away. My friends erupted into laughter. Ethan ran back to the water, and the sound of sizzling burgers filled the air. But inside, something deeper was happening. For years, people like Karen had tried to make me feel like a stranger on my own land. Like my family's legacy didn't matter anymore, because a group of people made rules on paper. I had spent too many nights doubting myself, wondering if it was worth it to keep fighting for something everyone else tried to claim. But in that moment, standing tall on the soil my grandfather worked with his own hands, I felt the weight of my family's history behind me. I wasn't just defending a piece of property, I was protecting a legacy. The next morning, I got a formal letter from the HOA board.